Welcome back to the fourth pair. This is our third episode here on Monday, or recording on Monday, uh, January 25th. Um, my name is Sam. Alec, how you doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm chilling, living the life. Couldn't complain.
Yeah, it's been a busy week in the NHL, and we'll get right into the biggest news of the season so far, which is the Dubois Line trade, sending Pierre-Luc Dubois, the third overall pick from 2016, to Winnipeg for the number two pick in that same draft, Patrick Line. Um, just my instant thoughts. This is kind of both teams benefit here because the star they traded away didn't want to be there in any sense. Maybe a change of scenery will benefit the two of them. Not that either of them are been. Well, Dubois has been a little checked out this season so far, but Line starting the season pretty well. Um, yeah, Alec, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like you said, it kind of seems like an even trade. Although looking at their stats, Line A definitely gets the slight edge. He has 306 games played with 250 points, averaging time on ice of 17 minutes and 40 seconds a
Mm-hmm.
game. But then you look at Dubois, 239 games played, 159 points, averaging 17 minutes and 20 seconds on ice. Line A gets the slight edge there. But one of the things that I'm really focused on, though, is what environment they're going into. So Line A is joining Columbus. He's a left wing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're pretty stacked already in terms of left wings, right wings, and centers. But what I do really like though is Dubois going to Winnipeg, who not only is off to a really hot start, but he's joining just some crazy depth at center with Shifley, Stastny, and then now Dubois. Um, I would imagine he would be the second line center at that point, but that just gives Winnipeg so much more depth, and they're already hot. So I think Winnipeg gets the slight edge here on winning this trade, but both teams are gonna benefit.
Yeah, yeah, you got to think that just that depth in Winnipeg, that their forward depth is unbelievable.
Hmm.
Like probably go Shifley one, Dubois two, Stastny three in the center wise. Even you can throw Dubois on the wing if it becomes a point where they think that maybe they could work out better that way. But the big thing is here: will either of them stay there? Because um, I believe Dubois is a unrestricted free agent after next season, and Line is a restricted free agent after this coming season. So you know, if these two wanted like a bigger market, like Columbus has just traded Dubois to the Ohio of Canada. So I don't know how happy he's going to be about that exactly. But if they're winning and he's having success, I mean, I don't see why you don't give him another shot, maybe on a short term deal or something.
Yeah, I was kind of confused because didn't he want to get out of Columbus, and they basically just sent him to a colder Columbus?
Yeah,
So,
it's exactly what happened. I mean, I was holding
um,
that up. I was getting packages ready for the Rangers to send to Columbus for this guy, and out of nowhere, Winnipeg swoops in.
yeah, honestly, I think I could see Dubois staying in Winnipeg, but I could see Line A getting out of there as soon as possible, especially the
Yeah,
way the way things have been trending with Columbus.
yeah,
All
with
these
uh,
young
with
players.
with stars and you
So
know,
my bet here is that Dubois stays um, with Winnipeg, and then Line A gets out of Columbus as soon as possible.
so it should be an interesting summer for Patrick Line. This is going to be one of those top market guys. For a lot of contenders.
Yeah,
It's the market
definitely.
for a goal scorer because when he's at the top of his game, he's a 40 goal scorer easily.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've seen him score 5 goals in a game. So
He's incredible. But let's move on to we're going to play a little game here. We're going to call it contender or pretender. Classic sports show game early on in the season here. And we picked out four teams in particular that have, we'll say they've played above expectations so far this season. And see, is this for real or is it, just a little hot streak that'll fade out and as the season goes on? So, Alec, let's start with the New York Islanders, starting out the season pretty well so far.
yeah. Uh, so we always expect the Islanders to play slightly above average, but seeing how competitive their uh, division is, I would like to say that they're fraudulent. Right, they're playing hot already, but I don't even think they're in a position to make the playoffs right now. With the Devils playing as good as they
Mhm.
are, I think the Islanders right now are in like sixth place in their division. So they could keep this up, but I really don't see them making the playoffs this year, just the way the format is.
Yeah, they've looked good. Like, they're going to play a good defensive game. Like, they're not going to allow many easy chances, but at the same time, they have struggled producing their own chances, when they possess the puck on offense. So, um, they're going to need to get creative with the lines maybe or bring in somebody if they want to really contend. But there's some pieces there that reason to be excited, but yeah, I don't think they're quite yet there. So, I'll call them a pretender to at least right now, unless they bring someone in.
Yeah,
And let's move north of the border. Let's go to the Montreal Canadiens. I know you have a few things to say about them, so I'll give you the floor here.
I would just like to say that I am all in on the Montreal Canadian hype. I think they are the team to beat right now. So, off season they brought in a whole bunch of different players. Let's start with Tyler Toffoli from Vancouver. They signed him to a 4-year, 4.25 average. He had 4 points through 7 playoff games with the Canucks last year, and he's just on fire so far with the Canadians. They also added Joel Edmondson from Carolina. He's already making a name for himself up there. He fought Tyler Myers, I think, on Saturday, who's like 7 foot or something
Yeah,
ridiculous like
he's a
that,
giant.
and he hit him with that nice left hook at the
Oh
end
yeah,
there. And he's just like a locker room guy. We saw him win in St. Louis, be very successful in Carolina, and he's just a guy that you need in the locker room to get the guys going. He's like a guy's guy. And then they also added Jake Allen, who's another veteran goalie to add on top of Carey Price, and he was super hot with St. Louis at the end of the year last year, and he's been really well in net so far for them. And then they added other guys, Josh Anderson. I could go on and on, but with all of these people that they've added, they're just clicking. I can't explain how they're doing it, but the chemistry that they have, it just looks like they've been playing together forever. So, this team is the team to beat right now.
yeah. Like, and to add to like this group of talent, like the young guys coming up, like Nick Suzuki and I think it's Victor Romanov, the rookie defenseman's been playing out of his mind so far this season. And even like with Carey Price and Jake Allen, they've both honestly, there's plenty of room for improvement with them how they've been playing this season so far in net, and they're still winning. Most of their games. I don't think they've lost in regulation yet.
Yeah, they
Um,
are. They have two overtime loss, or I think one shootout loss, one overtime loss.
if you're getting a point in every game, then you're going to be up there at top of the standings at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's
Um,
a three-way tie for first place between Vegas, Montreal, and Tampa Bay right now.
but could you imagine like if Carey Price and or Jake Allen start getting real hot at some point this season, this team's going to
Yeah,
get real dangerous.
yeah. It's
And they're creating chances at such a high rate, and which a lot of times can result in the same thing the other way around. But that's not the case. They're also shutting down other teams defensively. They're playing a great team game so far, and I love this. And I love this team. I think they're right up there with the top contenders in the NHL.
yeah.
All right, let's stay with the um, Canadian teams. Go over to Winnipeg. They are now 4-2-1. They lost last night with a second left to Edmonton. Um, we'll get into what I think about their play this year. But Alec, what are you thinking with Winnipeg so far?
Yeah, so I like that they did add Dubois. That really helps with their depth situation, but I don't see them being a legitimate contender. I think they will make the playoffs in the 3 or 4 spot, but I just don't think they're going to be a legitimate threat this year. But I think they're on the right track.
Yeah, so if we're to classify Winnipeg, like I'd call them fun,
Yeah.
which tends to lead towards very big spells of inconsistency on both all three zones. Um, they've been creating chances like at a very high rate, just like Montreal has. But the same actually, then the other team is creating a chance at a higher rate against them as well, with if you go by the expected goals per 60-minute statistic, it's high on both sides for Winnipeg. So you're going to be some of those fun games, but you can't win every game like these shootouts that go 5-4, 4-3 like that. And they do have plenty of talent. I think enough talent to sneak into the playoffs, but I don't think they're strong enough in the back end really to make a big push toward the cup.
Yeah, I'm also not sure who their backup goalie is, but you can't only ride on Connor Hellbuck
Yeah,
to
I mean
win every game.
Hellebuck's great, but any contender will tell any like big contender needs a second goalie to whether it's injuries or just like you can't start this guy 65 6 or 56 times this season
Hmm.
in this short amount of time. He's going to break down when you need him the most.
Yeah, exactly. And they need those rest days, especially with this condensed season that we're in. So I think that's going to be one of their greatest downfalls.
All right, and then our last team, we'll go with the Minnesota Wild. They've had a very successful start to the season in the Central Division, which might be the probably one of the weaker two, I would say. But Alec, what are we thinking with the Minnesota Wild?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't really watched any of their games so far this year, but from what I've seen with their depth charts and all that, they look pretty strong. I don't know if they're a legitimate contender. This could just be a strong start to the season. It could fizzle out at any moment. But they have Cam Talbot in goal. He's always great. Uh,
Well, actually, the Capo Kakinen has been the main starter for them this so far. Actually, he's
okay, and then
playing very well,
yeah,
surprisingly.
so then they have a legitimate tandem, um, and then they just have guys that are just always good on the ice, the Parise, Marcus Johansson, people like that are always going to be there to produce. I'm probably going to have to watch a couple games then to really know what they look like, but for right now, uh, I actually don't want to speak on whether they're contenders or pretenders because I'm a pretender for even speaking on their name right now. So,
So I've gone to a bit of a rabbit hole looking into this team, and I really like this Minnesota team like just as much as you like that Montreal team actually. So we know that they're going to be strong defensively. They still got a very strong defense with Ryan Suter, Spurgeon, then Jonas Brodin and Dumba. The second line there, um, those are four top line caliber guys, and they've been shutting teams down. But I knew that coming in. Like that's not the problem with them. The problem has been can they manufacture goals, and that's where they've been doing at a very high rate this year. With Parise is looking better, but this kid, this rookie, Kirill Kaprizov, I feel like every night you're seeing a highlight from him, like, oh wow, the game winner from the kid, game winning the assist in the game winner. He's been playing out of his mind, and he's playing himself right into the Calder race right here. And Capo Kakinen has been outstanding this year, and then Cam Talbot's just day to day right now, but when he comes back, it's a very solid tandem in net. Um, and I think in what's looking like not a super strong Central Division, fairly top heavy, I would say, with Tampa, and then oh wait, no, I'm totally wrong. They're in the West. All right, well, either way, I think there's on the top four in the West, where it's even more top heavy with Vegas, Minnesota, St. Louis, and Colorado as their top four. That's pretty much set in stone at this point. Maybe Arizona can make some noise or San Jose, but I like this team. I think they're going to be able to make some noise in the postseason in this division.
yeah, I thought Arizona was going to be much better. There's
Hmm.
obviously it's still really early, but trending wise, based on what we've seen so far, I'd say unless anyone starts to get hot, that top four looks to be for the most part set in stone.
Hmm. All right, so one team that I know Alec and I were both very big on to start the season has kind of been a little disappointing so far, even though they're 3-2-1 so far, and that's Philadelphia Flyers. And maybe I'm just making too much of this, but I could see maybe a change in who's their main starter, really, between between the pipes because Carter Hart has been bad so far this season. He's saving 88% of the shots on net, a lot 4.31 goals, per 60 minutes, and he's had 5 starts, pulled once for Brian Elliott, who then won that game, and he's sitting pretty with a nice 96 save percentage with a 1.3 goals allowed per 60 minutes, and he's won both games he's played in so far, and it's more of a matter of can he bear the load of a main star, but like so right now Hart started 5, Elliott started 1. I think it's going to become more of a 50-50 split, especially if Carter Hart can't figure it out.
Yeah, and Carter Hart's still really young, to
Oh
be
yeah.
leading a team by himself. I don't see a problem with splitting the minutes. Give Carter Hart more time to figure it out and find his game. You got to go with the hot hand. I mean, Brian Elliott isn't hot yet. He's only played 1.5 games or whatever it
Mhm.
was, but he is playing stronger, and I think maybe taking some load off of Carter Hart will allow him to play better and find his actual game. And then let's say he does, find it, he starts to get hot, then you could give him more games. But for right now, I think you just gotta kind of take the load off of him and just because if you're not gonna change anything up, you're not gonna make any changes to the win column or anything like that. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, is just the definition of insanity. And right now, I think the Flyers are kind of insane for continuing to start him.
Yeah, it's like maybe in an 82 game season you can give him a little more leash on how to figure it out. But in this 56 game season, you could really dig yourself in too big of a hole through 15 games even, and you could be
Hmm.
just you need a miracle to make the playoffs, and especially in this East Division where there's no easy games.
No, no days off in this division, especially.
There's the Devils look good. Like well, they've had a rock
They're a
solid
friggin' wagon right now.
Blackwood and Wedgwood in net, and like Hughes looking better. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to say wagon quite yet on the
Hughes
for
looks
the
like the
Devils,
greatest
but
player in
it's
the friggin' league right now, buddy.
yeah, yeah. It's I don't like it very much, but it's I can't just sit here and lie and say that they haven't been very impressive so far this season.
Yeah, how's it feel looking up at the Devils from the bottom of the division right now?
Hey, you said it best in our first episode that the Rangers are going to be a very streaky team. At some point, they'll get hot.
Yeah, right now they're not on the best streak, but like I said, it could change at any second.
Yeah, that's what I'm holding out hope for right there. But I guess we can kind of segue real nice into can the Rangers maybe get it going tomorrow as they play Buffalo and as we get into our picks for the Tuesday slate. Um, I went 2-1 last week with wins from Montreal and the Islanders. Detroit let me down in the noon game, but hey, 2-1. That's making profit right there.
Yeah, so I technically went 3-1. I had Flyers minus 1.5. They got their booty spanked with a 6-1 loss. Um, I had Islanders with you, so that was a win. And then I had the under 5.5 goals in the Detroit Columbus game, just like you. Or sorry, not just like you, but that same game that you had bet on. But the real sticker here is that I predicted a 3-2 Columbus win in that game in our
That's the
last
kicker right
episode.
there. That's
And Detroit scored with 54 seconds left to make it 3-2. I was going ballistic. I did
as you should.
I did say it was going to be an overtime win, but we don't need to focus on that part. We just need to focus on the fact that I predicted the score, and that's
Vegas
all that
Vegas
matters.
doesn't care if it's overtime or not. Just whatever you said the score is gonna be 3-2 is 3-2. That's a winner.
I am Vegas now. Okay? I'm Vegas's daddy.
and we're gonna make and we're gonna make Vegas our bitch again here this week.
Yep.
So I'll start with one of my picks. I'm gonna go with under 5.5 in the Flyers at the Devils on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. The Devils have been playing very good and very strong goaltending, which has been the big part of their success so far this season. And the Flyers hopefully can. I'm thinking maybe they get a little better performance out of Hart or Elliott, whoever's in net tomorrow night. And I could see a 3-2 victory going either way. I'm honestly leaning towards the Devils, but I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to play a little more safe. I like them under 5.5 in that game a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that because I actually have Devils money line at plus 128 on DraftKings. Um, and I see no reason why Elliott shouldn't at least get the go ahead for
Hmm.
this game. You know, the Devils, as hot as they are, they're still like a young, kind of more inexperienced team. Maybe this is the chance for Elliott to prove what he's worth, or also maybe give Carter Hart one more chance to see if he can handle it, and then let Elliott take the second game against the Devils. But yeah,
Yeah.
Devils money line.
All right. Love that. So I'm going to go to. Or do you got it? Do you have any more? Do you want to say?
Yeah,
Well,
actually later today, the only game that's today on Monday, uh the Canucks are playing the Senators, and I went with Canucks money line at minus 155.
I love that. Love the Canucks is a team that they've been a little struggle so far, but this is maybe the most fun team to watch in hockey. And they're like the Jets. Well, the Jets and the Canucks are going to have very similar seasons. It's just right now that the Canucks are on a cold streak, winning games, and the Jets are a little hot. They're going to be up and down all season. The two of them.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Canucks can get back on track starting with a
Hmm.
win tonight. So
And
that's
again,
my
against
hope.
Ottawa, it's probably one. It's not an easy game by any means, but might be one of the easier games.
Yeah, just to get a little more confidence going so you could actually start, winning some legitimate games.
All right, and let me move on to. I'm going to take the Washington Capitals as a home dog tomorrow night.
Okay, who are they playing? I
They're playing the Islanders tomorrow night. Only reason they're dogs because in any other sense it would 100% be the favorite here, but they're still without Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, and starting goaltender Elis Samsonov.
hmm,
So definitely a little bold action here, but um, Capitals backup or backups back the Capitals backup goalie. There we go. He's been playing solid this season. He's been a good replacement for Samsonov and since his absence, and they're still a very good team outside of obviously much better with Ov and Kuznetsov, but let's not act like they're not a talented team top to bottom. So I think the lack of offense generated from the Islanders will make it an easy night for whoever's in net.
hmm.
And I'm not sure who's going to be starting for the Islanders. I'm assuming Varlamov, who has been stupid this year. He's 3-0 with
Yeah.
two shutouts, and the other one was a 1 goal game.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah,
standing on his head all
it's
year.
almost his save percentage is just shy of 99%. And I don't care how hot you are, you can't stay that hot forever. Even like 3 goals going by him tomorrow night will probably result in the Capitals' victory.
Hmm. Yeah, the Capitals proved they could play without Ovi and Kuznetsov and all them. They split the series with Buffalo over the weekend. I think it was a 4-3 victory and then a 4-3 loss. So they proved that they don't need the captain and multi Rocket Richard winner. But yeah, I kind of like that pick. Just not more so for the strength of the Capitals right now, but more the lack of offense coming from the Islanders.
Yeah, no, the Capitals have been solid. They've won 3, lost 3, but all 3 of their losses have been in overtime or in a shootout. So that they've been competitive in every single game they've played so far, and
Hmm.
I think they're a team that's going to be above the Flyers or the Flyers, the Islanders later in the season. So all right, so yeah, DraftKings I got a plus 123. So
Yeah, that
nice,
just screams
some,
value right
some
there.
nice, some nice home dog.
uh,
You're not going to see Washington as a home dog very often. So
yeah, it's
yeah,
really interesting.
take
Especially,
advantage.
I wonder how much that would be swayed though if there were fans in attendance. If they would still be dogs, or if it would be more closer to like a pick 'em.
I think it'll be closer to a pick 'em.
Yeah. So I got one more pick.
Mm.
It's I actually haven't bet on this team in a long time. It's the Nashville Predators against the Chicago
Ooh,
Blackhawks tomorrow night. At tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. They're in Smashville. The Predators are minus 182 on DraftKings, and I just like this pick. I think the Preds, despite their record, are somewhat of a solid team unless they're playing the Dallas Stars. Um, and I just, again, I just don't like Chicago. I'm a big Chicago hater. I took them to be the worst team in the league this year, so I just really want to ride that. And also, I just want to, watch Nashville play hockey. I haven't watched a game or bet on them in quite some time, so I just think it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I definitely do like that Nashville pick. And that's a perfect segue into everyone's favorite segment here, unless you have any more picks, Alec.
Oh no, that's all I got. Let's
To
ride
move
this
to
segue.
move on into the sin bin, where I have a bone to pick with these Nashville Predators, and more importantly, every special team unit that they have on their team. So in Dallas's first game of the season, after I think 3 or 4 cancellations due to COVID running rampant through their team, they finally stepped out on the ice against Nashville Predators, where they then won 7-0. The Dallas Stars went 5 for 8 on the power play in that game, and the Predators went 0 for 6 themselves, including allowing a shorthanded goal on one of those said power plays, which I think was the fifth goal of the second period, just to really bury that team.
Jeez.
And I was happened to bet on the Predators that game because I was expecting, they're going to be a little slow out of the gates, the Dallas Stars, after a few cancellations, might be a little lethargic at first. I mean, yeah, they were a little lethargic at first. It was 0-0 after the first period, and then they couldn't stay out of the box. And then when they're on the PK, they couldn't keep them out of the net. So the sin bin this week is Nashville Predators special teams.
Yeah, you looking at that game and the stat sheet, you would think the Predators were the team that haven't played since the
Since
Stanley Cup final
Stanley Cup
last
final.
year. Yeah. um, they look like absolute garbage out there. And that's why I'm hoping for a nice statement win to kind of shake that off and get back on the right track here. But Dallas still looks good as ever. I know we had our doubts because of that shortened break coming off of the Stanley Cup final, but they still look really fantastic. So
It's the
that's
same with Tampa as well, which plays into maybe they're still drunk and that hangover might hit at some point. But
yeah, that'd be funny if like halfway through the season they went from being drunk to being hungover and they just
actually, that wouldn't be too much of a surprise. Actually, with the lack of the off season, not being able to fully heal, body might start breaking down a little
Mhm.
earlier. So it's something to keep an eye out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we've never seen before either. So,
Hmm.
and then my sin bin, a little less on the serious side. Uh, I'd like to hand out a 2 minute minor penalty for lack of creativity to the Washington Capitals, who just released their third jersey uh, about 2 hours ago. Um, you could find it everywhere on Instagram and Twitter and all that. It's basically sort of like a play on one of their older jerseys with just a big white W on the front of the jersey. Um, I mean, the colors are clean. Capitals always have clean colors, but I just don't like this jersey. It's kind of bland. And I think that the W on their jersey should just be changed to an L because that's what they get for making this kind of jersey. I just don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's so bland. Like when it comes to alternates and that kind of stuff, I love when teams get super creative. It might be a swing and a miss sometimes, but rather than do that than throw out this boring jersey.
Yeah, like the Sabres with the all white. Oh my god, that's just icy. But like
Nice.
the Capitals, I would have liked to see like a spin on like the old jerseys that they had in early in Ovi's career with like the
Yeah,
light blue and the eagle on it. That would have I would have liked that at least, have some fun with it.
like
Um
I'm looking at Arizona's reverse retro jersey.
yeah.
Like I'm thinking something like that, like a really nice spin on like a iconic jersey.
Yeah, or like New Jersey's um all green jersey, the spin
Yeah,
on the old red and green ones. That should like have a little fun with it. I don't know why they're going with just like the super plain, boring looking jersey.
man,
And
this is lazy.
yeah, and I know some Washington fans might come at me for this, but I'm just not a fan.
I don't think they're fans either, to be honest.
But yeah, do you have any more thoughts?
Um, not really. Just more hope that I hope my Rangers can turn it around at some point. Getting a little nervous, but do not give up on Alexi Lafreniere. He has no points yet,
Bust.
but yeah,
Bust.
we're not going to call him the B word until 15 games at least.
Bust.
All right, Alec. In 2 or 3 weeks, we'll call it 3 weeks. If Lafreniere is still playing like dog water, I will might call him the B word.
How about you go on Instagram Live and eat one half of a raw onion?
All right, so what? All right, so in 3 weeks, if he's what doesn't have a goal yet, or like,
Yeah, I'll make it that easy. One goal.
all
He
right,
needs
yeah.
one goal.
All right, if it's one goal, we'll do 2 weeks.
Okay, deal. Otherwise, you'll be eating one half of a raw onion on
All right, so
Instagram
if he
Live.
hasn't scored by Super Bowl Monday,
Okay, that's fair.
all right, that's
And then
it's a binding agreement.
I'll print you a Lafreniere's a bust shirt for you, and I'll send it down to Virginia.
Oh joy!
Already.
All right, well, this has been this week's episode of the Fourth Pair. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that at Caps on Sports. Visit our website, capsonsports.com. Check out the store for some merch. Got some fun stuff in there. We don't make money off of it either, which just want the brand out there. So for this week's episode, I'm Sam Meehan.
And I'm Alec. Thank you guys for watching. We always appreciate it. And again, make sure you share it with, your friends, your family, your dog, um, and even your grandma. I'm sure she's really into hockey. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next week on the fourth pair.